hold this mic. Because fuck it.
We're supposed to be liberal over here and everything shut down at 10 o'clock. Come on.
Yes. Yep. that part.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Winner Table Podcast. This is Johnny Walker and
Lance Prince.
And wow, we got another amazing guest on the podcast.
Oh my gosh. Yo, we've been having amazing guests this whole day, bro. But let's introduce him. He's all the way in the distance somewhere over. I think I see him.
Let's bring on to the podcast Sesh, baby.
Get on, brother. Get on, brother.
What's going on, brother, man? Flip that
Oh,
room.
yeah.
What's going on?
That's smart. That's smart.
What's going on? How y'all doing? What's going on?
Enjoying life,
Brody.
living life, bro.
Yo, listen, bro. Introduce yourself.
Hi, yo. So for those of y'all that don't know me, I go by the name Sesh, baby. It comes with a dot and it comes with 3 Y's. I'm an extra motherfucker. Y'all gonna learn. Y'all gonna understand why. You don't know
like
why
that.
my name is my name.
I like that a lot. I like that a lot. So, I mean, let me just get right into this, bro. How long you been making music? How long have you been doing music?
Look, I know it sounds a little like more of I'm in my infant stages, but
Interesting.
I've started in 2019.
Okay.
And it all started when I was little, music was always my thing.
Okay.
It was always a piece of me. But my boy reached out to me. He was like, "Hey, I got an engineer that I work with. Let's hit the studio. I know I always ask you to freestyle, and it's a little hard for you." He was like, "But run in. Let's write a little
Let's
remix.
do something."
Let's do something." I wrote a little remix, try to calculate it a little bit. He was like, "It's pretty hot." I started shopping it around, and people were like, "If you take this seriously, you could really do it." I was like, "You know
Wow.
what? I'm gonna fucking do it."
I fuck with that. Since 2019.
2019.
That's the opposite of what I heard when I started. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you doing, man?
They were like, stop while you can.
Yeah. I'm
Like,
like,
like, fuck that.
Quit while you ahead.
and then that made me persevere harder. You know, so to each their own, right? I definitely am one to not surround myself with yes men. What's your opinion on having certain
men
people
in a
around
circle?
you who in your circle?
Look, so some people might disagree just because of certain situations, but I don't like yes man. I don't want someone that's gonna just blow smoke up my ass, that's gonna tell me, "Oh, you're the best, you're the greatest rapper." Look, I know I'm not. We're on the way, but well humble enough to know that I'm not at the top. I'm not at the pinnacle. So I don't want a yes man to just tell me everything is good, because then when I drop music that might be very low tier, it might be let's call it exactly what it is. It'll be ass music. Yeah, your song is the shit. And then I'm sitting here wondering why. Yo, I only got 3 plays. Check it 6 months later. I
Yep.
only got 2 plays.
Yep.
Like, what's going on?
Yep.
You know, so yes, man, are literally, I feel like that's putting yourself in a position where you're doomed to fail from the start.
Mike Tyson speaks about how his happiest time in his life was when he went broke. Did you hear that story?
Oh.
Because he lost all his friends and he lost all the people around him. And he said that was what he needed to see who was fake and who was real.
I'll tell. Wow.
And then he was like, well, my wife stayed.
Yeah, that's the only real one right there.
Shout out
You know? Shout out Shawty.
Right. And he has interesting story within his own life. I don't know if you know, but I didn't know this, but his little girl at a certain age was on a treadmill and like it was a baby girl. Like it was his kid on a treadmill, boop, hit her head, dead.
Oh, my God.
No.
Yeah, so
way.
think about what other people don't, you know, and he bit people's ear off, lost his mind.
Mike
But I
Tyson has
think
a lot.
valid, right?
Valid.
Valid.
What you went through, look, I be turning up for some small things, you know, if it's warranted. But something like that, you gotta
Yeah.
burn a blaze of glory out.
And then there's like Kanye West's story with, what do you call it? His mom dying, and people would say, well, he went crazy. Well, his mom died.
That's
It
and
changes
again,
a lot.
let me first real quick shout out to Mama Dukes. That is my number one. Look, she's my Donda. That is my support system. She rides with me through everything since I was, I want to say 7 years old. Funny enough, I used to tell her when I was little, I'd be like, "Mom, I love you, but I don't know. I feel like I'm meant for bigger things." And she would always look at me and run to my dad and feel, why does he say shit like that? Like, this ungrateful shit. Like, he thinks that we're not giving him what he deserves. And it was never like that. It was, you know, when you're younger, you can't articulate yourself very well. You're learning, you're a child, you're very
Right.
unfiltered. So you just call shit how you see it. The wall's red, it's red. I'm not saying the shade, I'm not saying scarlet, I'm not saying red, orange. It's exactly what it is.
It's red.
Yeah. So, you know, again, being 7, and that's the way that I could interpret it. That's the way that I was able to, you know, again, further extend that sentiment. And my mom would always take it some way, but now seeing the music that I did, the clothing brand that I had started up, she was like, no, I just understood. You didn't mean it in a way that's more like, fuck you, mom. You're not doing enough. I don't have enough. It was more like, you're great at what you do, but I see myself being born for something a little bit higher than what you're on.
Yeah.
No disrespect. No disrespect.
And I definitely see it as like in my life, at least I had a comfortable upbringing in a sense, suburbs, etc. So it's like I took it as, oh, I have the opportunity
Yes.
to take advantage of this
Yes.
comfortability to make myself uncomfortable. I have the control factor at least to now
Right.
decide what will make me uncomfortable. So that pushed me forth. Now I want to ask you about your clothing brand because he and I share the clothing brand concept as well. So tell us about what is yours about. What inspired you to even do clothing?
So when I was, funny enough, even so in the midst of all the music that I was into when I was little, you know, when I lived in Florida, when I was in my 4th grade year, I had a couple friends in the block. Like we had grown up in Florida from my kindergarten grade to 6th grade. Then we moved back. We moved out to Jersey, and since then we've been here. But when I was out there, we knew everybody. Everybody knew us. So me and my brother were very locked in, all grades. And everybody in our complex would see me drawing things on my clothes and they'd be like, I like that. That's tough. Like, can you do it for me? And I'd be like, $5.
That's
Swing the
interesting.
shirt.
Yo.
I go to my crib, run upstairs in the laundry room, put it right out top on either the dryer or the washing machine, get a couple Sharpies, put things together and start, yo, what do you want me to draw? Start drawing shit out. So
Oh shit.
that was the very start.
Hustling
and I was
from a young age,
yo,
yo.
always. And then
$5
always
for
on my
the shirt,
arch,
yeah.
bro, $5. You give me your shirt, I'll put whatever you want.
Probably could have
Send me
charged
that
them
$5.
more thinking about that.
Yo, literally. And now, you know, when it gets on a higher scale, yo, I need my 5 racks, you know?
Yes, sir.
But it started there for sure. And then it just further translated. My mom used to always say, you always try to dress in high fashion since you were little. Why do you always have to get ready and dress extravagant to go to Walmart, to something little to? And I always just felt like I gotta look good. I gotta look presentable. I want to walk out in pajamas everywhere. Yeah, you know, you could throw on some pajamas and some Uggs and fuck around, but you know, I always had that style in me. So then I got to high school and I'm talking with a really good friend of mine named Kason, and we're speaking about, yo, you know, we're in class. He's tapping me from the back like, I'm tired of this school shit. We're a senior year. We could break out of this. What else could we do? What could we make of ourselves instead of just following into college and the regular route? And we start talking about ideas. And he's like, let's do a clothing brand.
That's
and I was like,
amazing.
let's fucking do it. We started talking about names. We get into it. Yo, right away in that same class, within a 30-minute period, I'm doing designs. I got all the Photoshop apps. I'm like hiding behind the desk so the teacher doesn't see me. I'm getting all this shit, putting a bunch of designs together. And he was like, yo, you're already on it. Let's do it. And since then, 2016, we just been moving with it.
Wow.
And I got
the
my
name?
boy.
Oh yeah.
I got my boy Ant involved, and he's now taking on more of the threshold. Shout out to Ant because, you know, now more following the music and making that the top priority. He's definitely held it down for, I want to say, even
clothing.
the last 2 years. Yeah,
That's
he's been
amazing.
doing a great job. The name of the clothing brand, ironically so, is called Bad Product.
Bad
I
product.
So
like
when you
that.
think of bad product, you're gonna think of something's manufactured incorrectly. Something's off. You think of caution tape. Don't open it. Maybe it's flammable. Maybe it's you don't want it. But that's the little caveat about it. It's gonna make you think. That's naturally gonna have you. Okay, bad product.
Interesting.
into it.
Yeah. I mean, the moment I hear
like
bad
that.
product, I think it's actually a good thing. I don't know why. It's not because it's like that flip. It's like meant to
Yes.
be.
But it's also now
bad.
we kind of took like bad and turned into like she's a bad chick.
Yes,
you know
that's it.
that's
Oh,
like
yeah.
bad boy. No,
She's a baddie.
No fuck.
Bad boy.
Bad
Diddy.
boy.
I feel like this is a
Alright,
topic that keep coming up.
we just
Nah,
can't
yeah.
avoid him.
Yeah, he kind of messed it up for us. But besides that, obviously, it's like, yo, now we've taken that and like now it's like bad product. So that's like
Yes.
fire product almost. And it also with the same thing that you're saying too, it's like super cool. It's like you almost want to play into the fact it's like, hey, check it out. Is it bad? Is it not?
It's up to you. And
You
I
gotta
like
look
that
it
you
up,
brought
yeah.
that up and the way you tied his point all together because it's exactly that. You know, the flip side is seeing it as a baddie, the baddest in the room, the toughest shit that you're gonna put
That's
on, you know,
facts.
putting that shit on. So you're either gonna say, it's a bad product. I don't like it. I get why they put the name, or you're gonna say, oh shit, that hoodie's bad. That
Yes.
shirt is I got it. I'm gonna cop it. Put that shit on.
Yeah. I like this. I like this a
What
lot.
different? Can you talk a little bit about like what different items you got? Like hoodies, shirts, pants. Like how
Yeah,
you
so we got hoodies, we got shirts, we have like dad hats. We
Fire.
did some. I know we did some bucket hats for a short amount of time. Yo, crazy! We had this idea at one point. I was looking at some old school fashion, and we wanted to do our first visor. And I was like, yo, let's. How about? Because I know the old school way, they would flip the visor upside down and wear it backwards.
That was a cool
So
time.
I was like, let's put our logo, let's flip it upside down,
Mm.
so that when people flip it upside down,
The
it's
logo's-
correct.
that's
It's
dope.
exactly how it's supposed to read. So everybody else, the general population, is gonna have it upside down. Every consumer that walks up, they're gonna try to read it. What is that? Oh, oh, okay. But the people that got the visor flipped, you're gonna be like, oh, you could read it right away. You understand it, and you could understand the influence of the time.
I like
This
how you
is
think. Is this one of
genius.
your pieces you're wearing right now?
So this one is separate from that. This is just now my artist merch. So this one right here is the tour that I've been on.
Okay.
Shout out to the connections I made in London, because I got to do a London show in May, and I got to tap in with this dude from Nigeria, and he lives in London, but he's Nigerian. Really dope dude. His name is Elvis Poco. He wrote a song for me called Star Blue. He wanted to get me on the record. He was like, yo, I wrote this for you. I saw you perform in London, and I thought immediately you were a star. So this is for you. This is your song. Let's rock it. So we got into that. And then I also had, 3 or 4 other connects that I met in London. This girl, Salma, this dope dude, Purple Moon, and Malachi. Really cool people, great individuals. But yeah, this is the tour right here.
That's amazing. I mean, going out to London is fucking. That's dope. How is London? Can you tell me like a little bit about how was it? How was your experience out there?
London was crazy, bro. I know a lot of people say the food in London is whack, or look, it really depends on where you go
Yeah.
and who you know, I guess you could say. Because, again, you start connecting with certain people there. They'll let you know exactly what spots are the best. They'll let you know what's a little bland, not seasoned, things like that. But the people out in London, I'll tell you right now, it's in terms of even when I performed, the way that they received my music, the type of energy that they gave, the way that they were just able to embrace my sound, and the way that they're singing my lyrics word for word, from song to song to song,
Wow.
as if they were fans already. And these are people I had never known, versus where you might go somewhere in the US and, you perform and people have that certain way that they carry themselves.
Closed off.
Yeah,
almost vibe.
like, yo, it's about me. If I'm another artist, I'm gonna perform my stuff, and then when it comes to you, I'm gonna walk out.
Nah, people want to be acting too cool for school
Yes.
sometimes, and like no one. Some people like find it hard to support. Almost, I don't know if
Yeah.
it's ego or what it is. Like, what do you think makes it so that some people are like don't want to support fellow artists?
I think it comes down to ego, to be honest. I don't want to, cats out of the bag.
Yeah,
I don't want to like give people their grace, because I don't think there is grace in that. I think, look, there's a difference between if like, let's say you're somebody and you genuinely feel, I know this is my boy, but I don't like it. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. That's a different story. I wouldn't tell anybody to endorse a campaign that they don't support.
Absolutely.
You got to do what's right for you, what suits your brand, even if you're not a brand, what suits your views, your morals, whatever it is. But in terms of if they're just not supporting, and it's not the fact of they don't think it's gonna make it anywhere or whatever that may be, I think it's more just the ego. If they might look at it as competition, and the way I look at it is it's not competition.
No.
If I see another artist that does well, if I see a podcast that does well, if I see a painter that does well, I'm gonna support. I'm gonna post it. I want you to get your shine too, and if I have a following or someone that might be in tune with that, I would love to put them on.
And I guess overall you're a fan of art, and I think that's what some people are missing, where they're like more of a fan of themselves, which there's nothing wrong with being a fan of yourself.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have to love yourself
Got
and
to.
be into what you're doing, but like some people just don't even like support the art,
Yes.
the artistry, and that's something that I've noticed when I'm at a show and I like go out to these shows in the community. It's like I love to see all the talent
Yeah,
that is
bro.
around me.
Gotta be a fan of a fan.
Exactly. So going back to the London, what type of venue were you playing? Was it venues, tours? Like, what was that like? Can you?
So the first one, now speaking on the one that I just did in May, that was a one-time show. It was in a venue, I want to say maybe like along the size of where we're at now.
Okay,
It's full circumference. The room started filling in, packing in as we went through the night. And we had an open pit. And for some of the artists, the pit wasn't filling up. I always try to support, just like me and you were
Yep.
saying. So I went front row for everybody that was up. I'm like, yeah, like yelling for them, learning their lyrics so I could sing it back. And I think that's also what it is, because it's give and take. So by the time I got to get on stage, it was, they said Sauce Baby, they saw who it was, and everybody flocked to the pit. And then you see the people that were a little more cut off, a little shy, like, I get to a song where I'm speaking a little more Spanglish. They hear it, they're like, oh shit, I gotta run down. They start running down. I see this couple grinding together on each other. I was like, yeah, that's how you do it. I saw one of the artists brought like 3 of his homeboys, all 3 different ethnicities. They have that same type of, London, British type accent, but yo, to see the 3 of them together as a collective, again, singing the lyrics word for word.
Wow.
By the second time I'm getting to the chorus, by the first time I start off the next song, it's again as if they knew everything.
That's amazing.
Crazy experience, but we're going back to London next year. We got a little stint for another Europe tour. We're doing Scotland, Dublin.
Oh shit.
We're doing London for at least 2 to 3 days. So we locking in a lot of European shows now.
What would you say is the importance to like actually branching out? And I know a lot of people want to try to like break right away in the US, but how important is it to actually start internationally and like dive into that?
Honestly, it's funny. I love that you even brought that up, because I feel like, even again, not to shout her out all the time, but shout out Mama Dukes. Me and Mama Dukes always have that conversation. She's my momager, she's my Donda. But we talk about how, a lot of artists. She grew up way back in the day. I don't want to make her sound prehistoric, but she was born in the 70s, so she was able to see some of the Michael Jacksons, the Prince,
Yes.
the Diana Ross. She was able to see how some of them, you have a base maybe in the United States, but when you take things overseas, there are so many more people that are wholesome. They work to live. We live to work. So they have their relaxation time. They had the time to figure out what their hobby is, who they want to listen to, what concerts do I want to constantly go to, who do I really love, and who do I want to show that love to. And again, I feel like just going international is, you also never know what you could find internationally. If you close yourself off to the United States, yes, there are 50 states here.
Yeah.
50 different places that you could take it. But if you feel like things aren't moving, maybe it's the oversaturation of what the music is right now. Maybe a lot of the thing is the same and people might not want the new. You take it overseas, people hear something they never heard before, and they embrace it right away.
And it's fresh to them. It's something fresh. Something I also noticed too, because like I have like definitely dabbled in. You look at some of the Spotify stats, and you're like, there's a lot of like Germany, France, South Africa, and it's like when you almost market to that, like that pool of people, they see you more as like, let's say you're in US, they're like, that's just another average, American. But then when you go overseas, it almost breaks that down. So they're like,
this is a fucking star.
Exactly. And they can see you for what you actually are, versus like, when you're here, it's like you said, the oversaturation, it closes people off.
Yes.
Like, here's just another person trying to be an artist, versus you go into those other areas and they're like, yo, this guy's fucking dope.
Yeah. Americans are looked up to, though, too.
Yes, they are. They are. I'll tell you right now, even like I was saying to him before, like being in that show in London, even some of the people that were there that were from London, they gave each other love. But when I said, and I made the statement, I said, this is my first time leaving the country. I got my passport specifically for you guys to come here. That was it. It was like we formed the bond right away.
Yeah, I love
They were
the
able
way
to
you
understand
said
it, and they were like,
I might steal that from you because I'll be making a passport for that same
I'm
reason.
about to get a little.
There you go.
I'm about to get a little left field. All right, so once they did find out you were American, were the shorties kind of coming a little crazy? They were like, "Hold up, American? Hold on, what's going on?"
Look, shorties was running to the front. Shorties were dancing. Again, even like one of the ones that I end up linking up with, she's really cool. This girl Salma, she's another artist out there in London, and she was like, yo, the way that you were able to captivate the room and the way you were able to have people move. And I'm looking around and I saw 3 people standing here. And then by the time your second song starts, I'm like looking around and does he know all these people? Did they come for him? And I'm like, no, I came through with my camp. My mom, my aunt, my 2 brothers, and my girl, so coming through with a whole little group and then seeing everybody being able to show that type of love and think like, do they know him or not? That was,
that's
for
powerful.
me, it was like,
Yeah, that's amazing.
I felt like, I think you guys talked about it earlier today, about feelings of when you feel like you made it. I think that right there is one of those. It's not like, I reached a pinnacle, but it's definitely one of those that can sit well.
It's those small
You're
moments,
doing
I
it.
feel like, that people, because some people are in such a rush to get Like we were saying, to get to that top pinnacle, or like, I gotta be just like this huge artist. But then they forget to actually stop and see all the goals that they're reaching along the way.
Or enjoy being a normal person before. Because listen, we live one life, one consciousness. And I may remind these viewers on this channel millions of times, but I think it's an important thing to remember. Like, we lived this life once. So,
One time.
you know, if you're going to live a normal life, enjoy the normal life while you have it. And when you are ready, it will happen. So don't stress it.
If that feeling of, you know, inspiring those people and touching those people before they, like, as you're still new to them.
I remember going to the raves. I went to a camping rave, and it's like, listen, I couldn't do the camping next to all these strangers if I was a famous person, because not only would they raid my camp, they would this and that, or they would be in my shit, stealing my shit. You couldn't even be amongst the people.
You want none of that shit.
Right. You would need your own special little tent, RV, whatever.
Life changes.
Right. Everything changes on you. Now, I got to ask, did you ask any questions about the tour yet? Like, how you feeling about the tour?
How are you feeling about the tour?
Yeah.
How am I feeling? Look, I'm feeling great about the tour. Honestly, like, I had this energetic feeling every day just to get up in the morning. No matter if I get 30 minutes of sleep, 20 minutes of sleep, 10 minutes, I'm ready to go. So when, you know, my dog Cloud Ray put this together, and, you know, we put this, you know, we got this whole tour opportunity. It was just everything that's going on is, I feel like I'm ready for it. I love sitting down, being able to talk, doing the media runs, the media outlets, being able to sit and do podcast interviews, radio interviews, like things like that. I feel like those were the components that were missing for me. So being able to add those in, being able to connect with others, and again, showtime. When I hit the stage, that's when I feel like I'm in my element. My older brother says it all the time. He'll pull me aside, and my mom will be like, "I'm so nervous for you to go on stage. You're not nervous?" I'm like, "No, I feel good."
I'm
and my
excited.
brother will literally always be like, "Mom, why do you always ask him that?" She's like, "Cause I get nervous." And he's like, "You shouldn't get nervous. Like, that's where he belongs. He's on stage." Like, and he always says it every time I see him. It takes the first 5 seconds. I see him speak, and I'm like, that's where he's meant to be. He needs to always be on stage. And that's exactly how I feel. There's nothing I'd rather do. If I could have 8 shows in the same day, give me that shit.
Hell yeah.
Give me it. I'll take a 20-minute set here, a 30-minute set there. I'll take an hour there because I got a catalog going. So we got projects on the way too. So there's always something in motion. Yo, I'm ready.
Not to put you on the spot, but I know you're talking about like whether it's 20 minutes or 30 minutes of sleep, I'm always ready to rock. I'm full of energy, which I can tell you have a lot of energy now. How much sleep did you get last night?
Last night?
Yeah.
Like 2.5 hours.
Oh,
swear to God. Swear to God.
Crazy. You see, we had a late night too, and I made sure to rush home because I knew I needed at least 6, 7. I know I know my hour count at least. I need to be at minimum 6.
And that's like,
everybody knows theirs.
I've tested it out with having, 2 jobs, working overnight jobs, doing things like that. I need at most 4. If I get 4, I'm good for at least the next 48 hours.
This guy needs crazy, 20 minutes and he's good for 8 more hours. This guy knocked out in the car.
I feel that.
Dude, it was so funny. Man's knocks out in the car. I'm like, all right, let him sleep till we get to the spot we need to. We got to go pick up a camera. I pulled up to the spot and I shake him and go pick up the camera. I'm like, he's like, what? Where are we? Where are we? Whoa. I feel so bad, but
no, because the thing too is I also over time I don't sleep as much as I probably should. I know they say sleep is very important, but obviously sometimes you got to sacrifice things. And
but it was so funny too, because then he's like, man, this is what I needed. 20 minutes. Sometimes all you need is 20 minutes and a Red Bull. I need to chug a Red Bull right now. Hold on. He's like, I need to chug a. And then he looked around again. He's like, wait, where are we, Lance?
Where the fuck am I?
You're like, no, you need some sleep, my boy.
No, the worst thing is when you fall asleep in a car and then you pull up to a destination and it just looks so like you're like, I've never been here. Where the hell
literally, you be going home sometimes, and I'll be in the driveway and wake up, and I'm like,
is this my house?
Yeah. My brother would be like, yo, we're here, get out, and I'm like,
yeah. You sure about that?
Dude, the problem is when I be driving so much, I be driving almost like I be halfway down the highway, like, yo, how did I? And I know a lot of people talk about this, but like for me, I'm speeding in the fast lane for some reason. And I know I just crossed a few cars and I'm just doing it just like, bro, that's not good, son.
Bro, I was just in Texas. I had to do that to stay up because I had a show in Houston. And then we had to go to Dallas 2 days later. So we drive straight from Houston to Dallas early in the morning. And then we get to the show and we had to drive back instantly. The show ended at like 11:30. So we had to drive another 3.5 hours. Yo, like 30 minutes into it. My mom's in the passenger seat. She's like, you okay? You wake, I'm like, yeah, the music's bumping. I'm singing loud as shit. Like, you see me here, I'm like,
It's
packing the
obvious.
mail, let's go. Like, I'm in it. And she's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm awake.
I love your mom. That's crazy.
Not even 10 minutes later, I'm feeling the doze.
Oh,
and I'm like,
shit.
okay, I think she jinxed it. I need to wake up. I see some dude in an I-8, and I start getting close to him. And I'm like, all right, I'm looking at the speedometer.
Get your adrenaline
odometer,
up.
and I'm like, yo, we at 76 right now. Jersey, I can't really hit a 76 that
Nope.
comfortable. I was like, let's try to push it more. So I started putting the pedal to the metal. We hit 95, and I tap, like, I'm getting right behind his back left tire. Right when I get there, he takes off. And I was like, oh, we gonna have fun. Bro, for the next 2 hours, it was inching up to him, he goes away.
I love
fly
that.
up to him,
He
he
knew
goes
exactly what he was doing too.
Then I catch him one time. He's like, he gets probably 3 miles down. I can still see him. I can see his lights in the distance. I'm like, I'm gonna catch up. We hit 105. I get right next to him in the other lane. And I'm looking at him. Dude's sitting there on his phone. And he looks up at me like, grabs the steering wheel. He's like, oh shit. Like, I gotta go.
But that's your adrenaline. I
Yes.
love that because I do the same thing. I've done 13-hour trips and shit, and it's just like you got to start doing
Gotta do what
some,
you gotta do.
or
And the cool
pull over
thing,
and look
too,
at your phone.
Is
Yes.
that
Notice
gives that also woke up, like, now you were like had something to pay attention to. It
Yes.
was like, all right, let me just focus on this. I'm gonna keep trying to catch that guy.
We just
And
go race.
Johnny's never driven because he doesn't know like that moment of just like, wait, I've been staring at the road for the past 2 hours.
Yo, literally, because it be getting so tiresome, especially when you're, let's say, even like Florida, you go from Tampa to Miami and you drive down Alligator Alley, all you see is swamps and darkness. For how long? About an hour, 2 hours? Bro, driving through that feels like a 40-hour drive. You start dozing off. You feel a little, if you got the OnStar, you good because it'll lock you back in.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yo, and I be thinking about all the times I was in class and I couldn't survive 40 fucking minutes. And I remember sitting in the car thinking these thoughts like, wait, why am I thinking I could do 13
Yo.
hours if I couldn't do 40 minutes in class? Like, and they're at least doing, I have these thoughts. I'm like, yo, like they're at least doing something in class. It's crazy that I could
when
do
you
more
driving,
driving.
you're
Just dozing.
you ain't doing shit, but you
the
last longer.
The South sucks. It's just like
Yo.
straight open
You
road.
see all the freaking the dragonflies. You hear all the crickets and everything.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah,
Everything
I would
starts
have
to look the
hallucinations. I remember having like moments, dude. I remember this vividly. Like it was 3 a.m., 4 a.m. I'm heading to North Carolina, and what do you call it? I start seeing like a guy running. Like that was I started seeing like someone like trying to fucking it's 70, 80 miles an hour on a highway. There's no man.
Yo,
action. So I
what?
keep like peeling over. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy? Who is this mother? And you just see like that's all I see in like the corner. I was tripping, bro.
He wasn't really there.
No, there was no one. What are you talking about? What do you mean not really there?
So
no
you
one.
just saw that, like hallucinating.
Yeah,
for real?
I mean, no,
hallucinations, bro.
I get that 100%.
Were you
tripping.
under some influence?
I be seeing like
I was microdosing on mushrooms at the time.
I was gonna say I'm not gonna lie, not to be a bad influence, but I do drive high sometimes. For those of y'all, this is self-incriminating.
Hold on.
Don't get me.
Some people do say driving high almost makes their driving better. It's different than driving drunk, but they're like, when I'm driving high, I'm actually more
Bro, you're
focused.
not
Yo,
supposed to do
100
shrooms.
Yeah, bro. Shrooms when driving, I'm just imagining the things that you're gonna be seeing, the ways that you're gonna feel.
Yeah.
I'll probably start tweaking just looking at my tattoos, feeling like they're popping off of my body.
I'll tell you,
Like,
Johnny doesn't know the the psychedelic experience, but you tell me like the things that start shifting, right? For me, when I've done it driving, so like the headlights will start to look like eyes, and then the everything, and I'm like, holy fuck, it has a face, and I'm like, start locking in on that, and the only thing that can snap you out of it is your logical, rational self, and you have to go, wait. This is the shrooms,
This
and then
ain't
you
here.
snap. You snap.
Yeah,
snap.
you gotta tell yourself, even like no matter what substance you're on, because I know some people get like crazy levels of anxiety when it comes
'Cause
to
they're
weed or to
tripping,
drinking. Yeah, like
Tripping.
they might even take a hit or two and or maybe they smoke a whole J and they're chilling, but then they start talking to themselves in their head like, I'm high. I'm starting to get high. When you start focusing and paying attention to that, you'll naturally play into that anxiety.
You'll
Yeah.
overthink,
Especially,
too.
yeah, bro.
Or
You-
vice versa, if you completely forget that you did it and now you're into this emotion, you're
Oh.
just like, holy
Oh,
fuck,
you're in
what's
a
wrong
world-
with me?
wor-
You have to be
yo,
like,
it's
wait,
a
I
wrap.
smoked weed or I took this.
Yes. That's why even like when I was in Texas, I was driving, whatever. I took a hit. I'm driving. I got inspired by like I posted the 10 crack commandments on the night before on my story. And I was like, something about this beat is speaking to me. So we get to the supermarket, my little brother and my mom going. They go get a couple things. I'm like, yo, let me take 2 more hits. We're not gonna focus on the fact that we're high. We're not gonna focus on the fact that we're not high. None of the two. We're just gonna get right to it. And I locked in, and I just felt right away the beat started. I didn't even need to let it replay. I didn't need to bring it back. 30 seconds in, that's it. Shit just started flying.
Do you have it like memorized that you could like spit it right?
I think you spit it for us.
Like acapella shit.
I got a little bit I can spit.
Yeah, that would be dope.
Yeah, I'll give it to y'all. All right, so it goes a little something like this. You ready? So it goes, niggas try to run it with my flavor, my raw papers. I'm on stages. They all up in their baby mom's basement with long faces, V-Lo sweats and they month payments. Me, I'm just trying to get up on a playlist and cause mayhem. Thuntin' stupid hype. Like I might stray him. The gap between us goes crazy. Ain't no debating. I pull a sexy ray, you pull annihilation. Wow. Come on, nigga, I'm everything.
Come on. Come on, bars.
Damn.
Come on.
Damn.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
And what 10 crack commandments? What's like the title kind of like what is it saying?
What
is that something I don't know of? Maybe that's
So it's an old Biggie song, and it's just talking about, you know, like the rules of selling crack, the rules of dope. You know, never get high off your own supply. Don't fuck with the wrong people. Dude. Like,
no way.
Bro.
So getting into it in my way, it was like, okay, let me think about it. I've seen again, and I'm not trying to say I'm at a pinnacle, I'm at a high point, but I have definitely seen some influence already in some people, not very close to me, but people that follow and watch from afar, right? So it was trying to address that. My flavor, my raw papers, the way I smoke. But while you trying to mimic my style, you don't know the rest of the things that I'm doing, the pieces that I'm taking to get here. So while I'm doing what I'm doing, you might have fucked around and got a couple baby mamas. You try to make that same action happen, but you committed at the wrong time. You got the long face, but you got the V-Lo sweats on because you sell and you get yourself to designer
payments.
shit.
You don't even own them.
I like
you
how
still paying them all.
I like how you're also like speaking through the raps because like in a way like what you're doing right now is you're like explaining and throwing the bars in.
Some genius shit.
And I usually try to like fit that in. It's like something that Johnny usually calls out on me, like trying to find that story within it. Is that how you focus on writing, or does that just come naturally in a sense? Because I really have to focus on that part.
So honestly, I tell my brother this all the time. I tell the people close to me whenever I'm writing. Sometimes it feels like it's not coming from me. I'll be sitting here, I'll think about something, and I'm like, all right, something spoke to me. And then there's nothing in my brain. And then out of nowhere, a light bulb clicks and a whole verse comes out.
I want to speak on that for a second because I am so grateful you just said that. Because as a fellow artist, I feel like the gift of being able to do what we do is sometimes not even under our control. It's like not. It's almost given to us. It's almost like someone is working through you as a vessel.
There is,
and
I will tell you that right now. I totally agree with you saying that. You could even go back to maybe a Michael Jackson interview. Even Mike used to say it. There are times where it's not you because there is a higher purpose. You always have to remember we are souls, we are spirits. We're not fully tethered to this earth. I'm very spiritual, so
I love that.
Likewise, the way I like to look at it. So in doing so, we pick up energy, we exchange energy, we lose energy, we trade energy. So while you're in these places, these feelings, these ways of being, you always have to remember that you might not always have the tools. If you call on a higher power or just continue to work and not focus on what's blocking you, those will naturally come. And when they do, and you know it doesn't feel like you, that is your higher power
lock
speaking.
into that flow state.
Yes. And when that flow hits, no distractions. You get a call from anybody, bro. It don't matter who it is. I will not take it because when something like that taps in with me, I feel like I'm now sitting having a conversation with my spirit, and we're talking about what needs to come out on this beat, what might need to come out without a beat, what story we got to tell.
That's an interesting way to put it. I feel like,
And it's, you know, the metaphor
confliction of the soul and the mind.
The metaphor I also like to use for it too is almost being an artist and us being like writers or whatever it is. We actually, in a way, sometimes when we're doing what we do, it's a gift. So the more that you actually do it and put yourself there, it's like you have the opportunity to take. So I look at it like a bookshelf. Let's say you're in the studio and you try to get into the studio. There's endless amount of inspiration.
Oh, yeah.
And when you come in there, you don't know what book you're going to pull down, but you pull down this book and you're like, wow, well, no one else spoke about this before. And you're just so lucky to have that.
Yes.
And it's like, well, this isn't necessary. It's not all me. Obviously, it's coming from something that is, you know, bigger than me.
Yes.
And I think having that is actually what, you know, sets us apart sometimes.
Yo, 1,000%. Because some people might not be in tune with it, and there's nothing wrong with that either. You know, it takes a certain situation. It takes certain things that you might have to go through. Again, I'm sure the way that you guys see things spiritual as well, you have to have gone through something that birthed that ideal, that type of way of thinking, you know, that type of looking into the world. Because again, where the common folk, it's not to talk shit about nobody. Common folk, you stick to your religion. Again, a lot of people grow up in the situations of raised Catholic, raised Christian.
Right.
You might be raised under Judaism or whatever it may be, and you might have to be well within your church, well within your mosque. You have to commit. I like feeling free. I need freedom. And again, spirituality too is, with the situations I was going through at that time, it was just a perfect calling to understand there are deeper things to this world that we might not understand, and that's okay. The world speaks with us too. We have even exchanges.
May I ask, do you feel like your soul is at all attached to your physical?
To my physical, I would say no.
I'm highly attached to the physical.
I would say I do have, yes, as we all do, we have some attachments. Like,
Got it.
the one thing I know for sure is like an attachment I have to the physical is that 7-year-old me that said, I see myself being something bigger, which was probably sent from my higher being to see, hey, this is what you're meant for. That connection with that together is what allowed me to know, all right, you know what? This is something I got to go for. And to even just think about like putting myself in those boats, in those positions of like what you were saying. You said something very important in the last thing that you said.
The gift, or like putting yourself in that position to actually have the inspiration come through you and allow those messages to work through you in a way.
Yes. And it's, again, having those connections and feeling maybe slightly tethered to the physical aspect of it. My physical aspect is I want to make it. I know I'm going to make it. No matter what shape, form, or fashion, I know there's something for me on the other side of the rainbow, the other side of the wall. The grass is definitely
There's
greener.
that pot of
and I know
gold
that
at the end of this
Oh,
rainbow.
1,000%. There's a pot of gold. It has my name on it. It has a specific date. I don't know what the date is. I don't know the exact piece that's going to get me there, but I do have plans that are taking me to the places that I've been now.
Yo, that confidence is actually what I think gets you there. It's that knowing, because we can't all say, listen, obviously I know what's going to happen at this date or this or that, but that confidence of knowing this is going to happen, it's my destiny.
Yes.
I feel like those are the people that never stop, continue to actually keep pushing and get to that pot of gold at the end.
Yes.
Yeah, for me, it's like, I wonder if it's the attachment to the fact that there's more life to live, or is it the true attachment of just not wanting to not be able to see, technically see, hear, feel.
Yeah.
There's something so like just like my brain can't wrap around not being conscious.
Yeah.
Well,
I
this
don't know
flesh
if
is
that's-
temporary, and like, you know, I do think at the same time we can become slaves to our flesh in
We
the
can.
sense of we get so
Interesting.
addicted
Yes.
to what is it? The touch, the smell, the sense.
I see what you mean,
Living
bro.
through life, and we can get so addicted, and
Fuck.
that's why you know, a lot of people would be afraid of death. But when you come to terms with your spirit and this and that, and like it's all just flesh, and there's something more,
You'll feel more
Yo.
alive.
you feel more
And even
alive.
with death, your time is your time. That's another thing. Like kind of how I said with when you make, like the way I feel about making it. I don't know the date, but I know it's going to happen. It's the same thing with when we die. We don't know the date.
But it's
None of
gonna
us do.
happen.
But when it's going to happen, I promise you, I promise to whatever you believe in, God, Buddha, anything, whatever it is, there's a plan for you, and there's a day that you are meant to exit this place.
You know what they say? Two
It's
things are
here.
promised: taxes and death.
Yep. Yes, sir.
And to do that full circle moment, like because we were talking about driving and when it's your time. I always used to say this because I wouldn't wear seatbelts, and then my friends would be like, "Put your seatbelt on." I was like, "When it's my time, it's my time." It
Yo,
ain't
like
my time
if I fly out the window today, just know this was the day I was meant
This
to
was
fly out the
supposed to be
window.
my time.
If I didn't fly out for the past 6 years, trust me, I ain't flying out today.
I mean, I felt
been riding no belt,
funny.
I'm
It
good.
ties all together. I've fallen asleep in the car now like 2 or 3 times and wake up right before I'm about to fucking.
And that right there tells you it is not your time, my brother.
Dude,
it is
yes,
not time.
I think
and
that
we were
every
talking
single
about
time.
that too, because I was telling him not only is it not your time, but it's also sometimes it is like a wake up call where it's like you should be a little cautious. Remember, you have more to do on this planet.
Yeah.
So be a little careful. But it wasn't your time yet, so I'm not taking you. But here's your slap in the face.
Yeah,
Reminder,
that's like even those people that might go through like a crazy accident. Like even one of my cousins. He's my older cousin. I believe more my second cousin. We call him Papito. He got into a crazy accident on the highway in Texas. Car flipped and everything, skin ripped open and everything. He was bleeding out. The person that came up to him checked on him and was like, "Is everything okay?" And gave him the face like, you might not make it. They called helicopters and everything. They had a bunch of different cops, ambulance, EMS. They came, flipped the car over, got him out.
Son.
He made it through all that. He's here today. I just saw him last week.
Right.
God bless.
Oh my God.
And that just goes to show, while he was sitting there in that moment and he made the realization, this is my time, it was still not your time. So you never know.
I see what you mean.
Not
You
only
try
was
to
it
call
not
it, you
his
don't know.
time, but that situation, that experience was part of his story.
Yes, and like you said, there's more for him to do on this earth. There's
now
more
even
to his
more-
story before
yeah.
that book closes. We're just on another chapter. That's all it did.
Our soul's on that journey, I guess. That's really the best way to put it. It's on its own learning journey.
Yes, sir.
And while we're on that topic, I want to say this because I like to talk a lot about how trauma can make or break you. Do you say there's any trauma in your life that maybe has gotten you to be this person you are today? That seems to be so positive, inspirational, and just moving on a path.
You wanna know what's funny? And I don't mean it to sound like boosting my mentality up, but I look at it like this. Trauma could be good or bad. And I feel whether it's bad or good trauma, it's always going to be good because it should shape you to change the ways that you're looking at the world. It should shape the ways that you might assess something or the way that you might tackle a specific plan. Those traumatic experiences should always wake you up. It should be a wake-up call. So one that I can recall that, again, wasn't even crazy that, it had me. My parents split up. They got divorced in 2010 or 2011.
How old were you?
I was going on to my eighth grade year.
Oh, wow.
So I want to say maybe let's say 13.
Yeah, like 13.
13?
That's it's interesting. That's powerful. Because such a crazy moment between you're gearing up for high school and
Yes.
8th grade. So that can be a very pivotal moment there.
And even in that moment, it was, I'm not gonna lie, you have to be a human first. When things started happening and they finally got to the mutual agreement, like that's it, Dad, leave today. When I went into the closet and I saw my dad had suitcases packed and he was ready to go, that shit broke my heart.
Oh man.
I literally ran to my mom. I was like, I want to run to Dad. Like, I want to stay with him. I don't know about staying with you anymore. But we ended up finding the split time and things of that nature. But I'm grateful for that trauma because, it hit me for that one day really hard. But that's all I needed, to let that human nature and those feelings out. And then to realize there are bigger things coming because of what just happened. You got to think about some traumatic experiences, and maybe if others are involved, you might have to, a lot of people might look at it and say, oh, woe is me. Take a step outside of the woe is me, the victim aspect, and think about every other party that's involved. Because I could sit here and say, and be very selfish, I want mom and dad to stay together because, that's how it's supposed to be. But what if mom doesn't rock with dad like that anymore? What if dad doesn't rock with mom like that? What if you guys didn't have us? It would be as simple as, we don't work out, deuces.
Right.
So why would you let us stand in the way? There is a way to make it work, that you can both give us time, that you can both make shit work, that you can both give us love. We can both show you, all three of us could show you guys love on both ends. So again, I say that to say that right there was one of those that already had to make my brain develop faster than
make you
I
mature
would.
faster.
Very fast. I had to watch. Okay, so now I realize no matter how connected I am with someone, if it's not working, it doesn't fucking work.
That's okay.
There's no use in continuing to try. If you've done it 15 million ways already, or you've done the same thing over and over, you're borderline insane.
Yeah.
So you gotta stop real
Insanity
quick and be
doing the
like,
same
yo,
thing.
we've tried every door in Monsters Inc. We opened every single one. And every time we open the door, motherfucking Randall's here like, he's like, what up?
Bro, that's way too real for me
You
right
know
now,
what I
bro.
want to say too? And the beautiful thing about that story is you could see it like this, where it's part of their story and their, that chapter in life was actually bringing their children into that world.
Yeah, bro.
Which those, people like you who are actually doing so much, and like you told your mom, I'm here for something greater. they brought something greater to this world, but that doesn't mean that they have like that there's not a next chapter for them.
Oh no, not at all. Look again, my mom right here, she's a self-made businesswoman. She does medical insurance. She sells insurance here in New Jersey. She's got license in so many other states in the United States. She is again very goal oriented. She started going through even like her little early stages of menopause, going through it hard, and she would literally text me and be like, "Matt, come to the room." She'd be feeling off and be like, "Yo, I gotta shake this shit off. I gotta get up, go shower." Shit. She's like, "I'm hitting the road." She's driving to Elizabeth. She's driving to Trenton. She's going all the way to Oak Bridge. She's going all the way down the shore.
Bro.
She's making the shit happen. So now her jumping on, being more a little bit like low key my momager with the music, it's been mad cool because again, being next to that same type of, and I grew up watching that same work ethic. So I feel like I shine with that same way of being. Like, we work together. If me and my mom put our heads together, oh, we want to do this, like, you know, this is where we want to perform next. This is where we want to travel to. Put our heads together, and it's like thing one and thing two. We'll make it happen. And again, being able to be predisposed to those ways that she goes about her career and seizing every opportunity she has, I have to always carry that with myself as well.
Damn. You want to... I don't even want to end this, bro. I wish we could just do it a lot with all. This is amazing, yo. All three of y'all. This is beautiful.
You know, I want to say it's a blessing to actually be able to sit down with all you guys that are on the tour. And
hella inspiring, man. For real.
No, each of you guys not only have a story, an amazing vibe, inspirational, and it's just like it's beautiful to know that there's such amazing people on this earth that we walk with. And I just want to say thank you for that.
Thank you.
God bless. Look, I extend the same sentiment.
What's one thing you would give to
the youth? I feel like I low key dropped some bars already, but I always got something to say. One thing I will say to get as deep as I can, and I feel like this could be universal to whatever you are. So I'm talking to y'all people, and in my live, I'm talking to y'all at home. So both sides. If things don't work out, don't chase it. If someone doesn't support your dream, don't listen to them. Because again, I have my father who believes in me, but it's still more, he looks at it like it's a
hobby.
It's a hobby. That's the exact word. And that's not to take away from what he'll do, because I had a performance in Tampa and
hold up,
he showed up out of the blue. Yep. He flew in. I'm talking with a bunch of artists mingling, and I get like my back snapped. And I was like ready to turn up, and I turn around and I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, where did you come from?
I love that.
What?
Yep.
So it's not to say anything like bad in that way, but for the people that look at what you're trying to do as a hobby, what you're trying to do as, oh, it's just a phase.
Or a game.
It's not a game. It's not a fucking phase. And it's not a hobby. If you know that shit, stand 10 toes down on that. Don't let Mama Dukes tell you otherwise. Don't let your girl tell you otherwise. Don't let your boyfriend tell you otherwise. Your husband, your kids. I know that might sound fucked up to some people that, look, my family has a great relationship still all the way around. We all could work together with that same mentality. You need to always make sure if you believe in yourself and anything that you do, no matter who says you can't do it, just fucking do it. Because they don't see it. They don't see what you see. The same visions you had when you were a kid or that you have right now while you're sitting here on this very couch, I don't have those same exact visions. You might have to write it out on a projector and show me what's going on to really let me see what it is. But nobody knows what that vision is and what that end game is but you.
That's they don't have the same prescription. They can't wear the same glasses that you wear.
They don't have.
Dude, this is fucking
I wanna play a track though before.
And I'm gonna start bringing the rest of the individuals.
Let's play a track. Let's before you bring them on, let's rock out to this track.
Oh yeah, you know what? For the clips.
So let's do this. In my music, so before I press play on this record, I focus on, again, I'm very calculated with my writing. And at the same time, I have times where, just like I said to you guys, it comes about. It'll strike like lightning and it's here. So this record right here, I brought it back to my roots. I am Cuban, Colombian, Panamanian. I got a mix of Chinese, so I'm a mutt.
Oh, shit.
So we went back to the roots. I love performing this record live. In London, they showed out. They knew the lyrics. It was crazy. So this record is called Habanero, and we're going to get right to it.
Habanero, let's go.
Extra spicy.
That's beat.
Hey.
California Kush, my shit. Sandals with the wool, my drip. What's up? Good up in the hood, I'm hip. Always understood my friend. No more not leave me alone. Too many bitches on the telephone. Hello, yo tengo hella racks in my home. Cubanas in the glass, I'm alone. Pouring at the glass in the phone. Had to run it back on the hoe. I get up in the back in the soul. You know that's why a nigga always home. I told her to bring it back for a minute. She told me I'll be back in a minute.
I'll be back in a minute.
Has a little dress and it's fitted. And she got her nails and I get it. She pull up with that Southside agua. I whisper in my ear and she call me. And she know I got the mamba, that serpent, anaconda lip.
Oh. Hey, yo.
It's a two-step, a whole stretcher. Now we gonna count in Spanish a little bit, you feel me? Nigga coming with that. 1, 2, 3. Baila con me.
Hey, yo.
1, 2, 3. Saucy on the scene. 4, 5, 6. Bitch, I'm in the mix.
Let's go.
Baby, using lips.
My boy J Dose.
My boy J Dose in the cut. For the Beta and J. The buzz, the coating up in the fan. Woo! The buzz, the 40, the red bandana. Estamos fumando with like a banner.
Yes.
Mix of the models and all the scammers.
Yo, Bazooka kind of like.
We about to have a show night. Hey, yo, where the Mr. West? What you say? Yeah, this is good life.
Yo.
Perfecto, con respecto. Dame mis flores ahora. They can neglect though, I'm almost perfecto. Show me affection, I'm more that. Tú me conoces, bailando la noche. Then we finish off in the bedroom.
Yup.
I don't want no stress, no drama, no bullshit. So quítate la ropa and the dress too.
Facts. Damn.
Baila con me. 1, 2, 3.
Damn, sitting at the winning fucking table. Yo,
At the
this
winning
shit-
table with the one and only.
God damn.
Baby, using lips. I be with the shits. And then live, they love this part. They love counting in Spanish. They be going like, I be getting like some of the little Caucasians that be in the corner like a little shy, and I be like, come on, count.
The
count.
Caucasians that say they're Latina sometimes.
Yo, they be like, and they
Yo,
be like, you can
motherfuckers.
see they want to count. I'm like, count with me. Do it. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Say it,
5,
you
6,
know
bro.
I feel like every American has to know how to count in Spanish at least.
Have to.
Come on,
You gotta
come
at
on.
least get to 5. As
Yo,
long as you can get to
those
5, you
tres,
good, bro.
Yeah.
Come on, if you ever worked in a kitchen in the U.S., you gonna learn Spanish.
Oh, that's it. They go here.
Yo,
Incredible.
this shit was dope.
And this was the first record I chose to add, you know, or to look for or to piece together
That's fucking-
element of something that resembled my background. Something that you hear the little Spanish drum kicks,
I like
hear the
that.
Spanish logo.
Sauce, baby. Yo, what the fuck, bro?
Your
Thank you.
delivery's
Thank you
fire.
for coming on. Thank you
God
for
bless,
all of
bro.
this, man.
No.
I definitely want to let the
Let's,
group just hop on
Yeah,
for a
let's do that.
second.
Let's close out this one and
Yeah,
have that as another
you just
segment.
chill right here.
So, once again, just want to say, appreciate you. Your energy is immaculate,
God bless.
and thank you for sharing those stories with us. We definitely want to, maybe have you on again and talk some more, get a little more deeper into it because this was amazing.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
This was Lance Prince.
Johnny Walker.
And this is none other than Sauce Baby.
Sauce, baby.
This has been the Winner Table Podcast.
Subscribe, like, comment, do your shit.
God
All right,
bless
love
and
you.
follow these guys. They the shit.
Big dub.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so
You
now
stay
let's
right
get-
here.
Yo, God bless. I didn't get to give you guys your flowers fully on that, but
No,
Jesus
don't worry,
Christ.
bro.
Action.
This is Lance Prince.
Johnny Walker.
And Sauce Baby.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for watching the podcast. It does mean a lot. And please don't forget to check out Sauce Baby. His links and everything will be in the description below. Clothing brand, which is such a creative dude, and it was a blessing to have him here at the podcast.
Expect more collaborations, guys. This was another podcast. Like, comment, subscribe, do your thing.
Shout out to the Winning Table Podcast.
Big dubs. Big dubs.
Stay abundant, keep winning.